it's halfway decent outside. It's, you know, not cold, and you know how, hey, yeah.
I guess I understand my birthday getting snowed on in April, but my birthday is on the 10th.
Of April.
It was snowing.
It was snowing. Yeah. Yeah, I told you that was a Prince song.
Same day as toys.
April 19th.
With my macaroni salad.
Right. Christmas was thinking of himself. He was thinking-
Yeah, I asked him
He-
for
he
something.
played-
He looked at me crazy.
Right, he brought soda for the group, so we give him a little
I asked
play.
him
Gotta
for
give him
something. He
a
looked at me
little
crazy.
Yeah. He brought soda for the group, so we can't say he didn't bring something. Chris, man, that's some good news what you just said,
Yeah,
man.
beautiful.
I mean,
He told him
when I think
I
about
clapped.
when I think about the years
Mhm.
that we've been walking, you know, I'm just grateful, man, and I could be a fly on the wall when that's taking place.
Yeah.
You get it, and then you know just be so grateful, man.
Mhm.
Get done and move on.
You're done, right. Yeah.
Look forward to that day.
I hear you. There's nothing wrong with that. So
Appreciate being able to know that I came home, didn't go back,
right.
because I stayed focused, and it made me feel like, well, Calvin, you're on the ball, you're doing some stuff. Even though I love it, from working from the bathroom all the way to being in the office, being in this room.
Yeah.
It makes me feel like I'm a part of all
Yeah,
this.
oh, you are. Ain't no question about that. Ain't no doubt about
See,
that. That's right.
somebody told me the other day,
What did somebody tell you the other day?
you can still, being on ISR, you can still be good and they'll still find a way to send you back.
No, that's true.
That's their job.
Now, things I want to say to you, and y'all know this, I think. Now, ISR has loosened up a bit because of George Floyd. And the George Floyd incident has brought so much out, right, to now where guys have been, remember, complaining about certain ISR agents like
Chad Blake,
Chad Blake and the rest of them. I can't even call
Tom
them.
Hayden.
Tom, all of that. People are now realizing, hey, wait a minute, these guys might be telling the truth.
Right.
And it's slowing their roll a bit. But I'm gonna tell you, but that will only last for a while, for a season, unless we keep moving. We keep, yes.
Yeah, no, these guys are trying
Sure,
to change
I'll
and
get you
y'all
one.
start pushing them back.
Sorry, I
Then they
like to
go
take
backwards,
notes.
still going
That's all right.
forward, knowing that you could have just said, okay, he didn't get no case.
Right.
Go
Yeah,
fast.
right. That's
Now,
right,
it's
Kev.
It's hard for them to not let us come home.
Exactly. And they have felt women in some ways like it was their absolute duty
To keep us.
to violate.
Did you ever check out that property on Golden Valley Road, 1816?
You talk about this at duplex, right?
No, it's I'm sorry, Wisconsin's got a beautiful lake.
Okay.
You could
I
still
put her in
say,
my car and I drove.
It's a campground, what it was, where I went.
Okay.
They,
To get the boat.
To get the boat,
gave her a hotel. for
another
the night,
person got
and-
the camper
And she said,
and
she got in my car, she said,
trailer with the
"Mom,
lock
I'm
splitter.
okay." She said, I've been
Oh, wow.
praying
One of them,
God would send me somebody. to
This is your
walk."
blue truck.
She said, people been just.
You got
using it and walk around
you got one of them
for
things on the
3
back of your truck.
no, I
said,
got
"Get
one.
in."
I don't have a hitch. I have the one that connects to
Over
the
the
bumper.
grave field, they got her
Oh,
treatment.
that was kinda chancy.
I heard you guys talking about a
That
building.
was
so
God.
For a
the
building.
sense of
That
that.
was God.
Because we do housing. So we have 2 buildings and we house pop guys there.
And you're looking for another building?
Yeah.
Hmm.
And so go ahead. No, go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, you go ahead first.
I see a lot of houses, obviously, around.
Mhm. And so the COVID has driven up the prices so high. This house that he was sharing me, which is a duplex, which would fit our model greatly, they're asking almost $100,000 more than the building would have been worth about 7 months ago. So I'm not interested in that.
Okay, is there any specific location?
Well, we're already in North Minneapolis. I was trying to get like a network of spots on the north side and then branch out, but we got 2 spots right across the street from each other.
Right
Throw
now?
this one at you.
You've been to one of them.
Yes, we had to go hunt Michelle down last Tuesday.
Okay, all right.
Let me-
She dropped off, Lazarus.
Uh-huh.
But Michelle, I love my sister. She has a gift of gab. So I'm waiting for her because she says, I'm coming right over. I'm going to drop Lazarus off. We don't see her for 30 minutes. Her
Right.
daughter's calling me. Her husband's calling me.
Yeah, right.
I rode down to the pop house.
She's
No
right.
sight of Michelle.
Right.
I called you,
Okay.
but I hung up. And I said, I didn't want to, like, you know, I wasn't trying to say anything, but I was concerned. So I
Right,
get
right.
back to my apartment, and here she is pulling in, phone's not on,
Yeah.
ring is off,
Right.
and everybody's looking for her.
Sure.
She got home safe.
Oh, right. Okay. No, and so but Michelle she'd been over there once.
Yeah,
So
I've been there once.
you've been there once. And so, well, across the street from there, we have another property, right? Chris lives there. And, you know, so we try to keep a little cluster, you know what I mean? That kind of
Right
thing.
there in that
In a
neighborhood.
network, yeah. But there's a house, it's a 6-bedroom house right across the street from us that I really wanted, and I know the people who's selling it, and the house was worth about $250, and I would have paid that.
Mhm.
But they got $350 for it. It's not worth $350.
Right, but they got 350
Because of the-
people.
Mm-hmm.
I know of one that's on 1811. Is it Bryant or DuPont?
Mm-hmm.
My landlord owns it.
1811.
And I rode by it.
Right
It's
around-
not a, you know, it's your typical house. You know, it's got the only thing I didn't like because I was looking at it for, you know, maybe I could work something out with the landlord. I ain't getting it in my own space.
Mm-hmm.
And it is just a house. It's like, and I know it's all up to code. He's a decent landlord where I live.
That's a nice block.
And he's a decent guy. He likes to help people.
Mm-hmm.
And so he's got 2 that he's going to be selling. He hasn't announced it, but he did let me know he's selling one. And it's this one I wouldn't recommend. I love the property though. I love the upstairs. The downstairs tenants have been there 27 years. So it'd be hard to, you know,
Yeah,
I
yeah.
wouldn't ask them if it were me. But
Right.
the one on 1811, I believe, is a single family house or duplex.
Mhm.
And I could ask him and see, you know,
Mhm.
just what would be the, you know, just the real market rent,
Yeah,
especially if
yeah.
you wanted to help out
Hey,
the
right, what's up,
community
bro?
or something.
Right, right. How you doing,
I
sir?
think that's the
Chuck
house
Lazarus
that was
up.
burned up and it's back.
Yeah,
They
okay,
had a
right.
fire there.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know that history of it.
Yeah.
No, I'm just saying, and they just rebuilt everything.
Yeah, it
I think
sounds
that's
like-
1811.
It could be. That's on the 1800 block.
Uh-huh.
Our dad used to live on that block. That's why we know it.
What
Oh,
about
No,
I just
she's
ran
talking
into
about by a section place.
No,
no.
Brian?
over there by
yeah, Brian is the one right
Irving.
it's the same thing as Ascension right on the corner.
I thought you said Brian. Didn't you say
And
Brian?
there was-
Brian or DuPont.
Oh,
I'm
okay,
not, it's
okay.
18, but I believe the address is 1811 because I looked them up and then I
Oh.
rode by it.
Right, right, right.
You know, and so it is just your typical house with the, you know, he's got wooden banisters for the,
Mhm.
you know, so,
So it's probably on DuPont, I think, because there's a house on Brian's that caught fire.
Mhm.
But Brian, right down the street, is known for a lot of.
Yeah, no, it's
So,
yeah, you know, I don't want to have to fight, you know, just to, you know,
Yeah.
whatever.
but
Hey,
regardless, a
what's
triplex.
up?
I know where a triplex is over in St. Paul off of
I didn't see you coming.
Thomas.
Come on, Lonnie.
I think it's like
Let Lonnie come by.
I think it's 1080 Thomas
What's up, man?
Avenue in St. Paul, and it's a triplex
How you
going for
doing?
sale.
Good. So
Hello.
see what they want.
I like to call her. I have to call
I'm
her
Maria,
realtor
Pop Girl.
because I looked at the 1 bedroom. There's a 1 bedroom, a 3 bedroom, and a studio.
Oh wow.
So the way he's redoing everything. New appliances, everything.
And y'all right? Good, good,
And the
good.
one I saw, the 1 bedroom.
We getting starting to.
You got the 1 bedroom's got the upstairs with a 1 bedroom, and then you got access to the bottom, the basement,
Mhm.
which you could probably squeeze 2 more bedrooms out of.
Okay.
Really.
All right. Well, so Lazarus, you all right? I feel some energy, man. Okay, okay. Well, we gonna hold you.
Hi, Lazarus.
Some of the things that I eat.
So we're gonna tonight, just because we're starting slow, we're gonna read. We're gonna start. Last week we didn't even get to the acts of faith because of the just the subject matter from last week was so strong. So I'm gonna let Lonnie.
Oh, I was,
Okay, you
go
can.
ahead, let her.
No.
Okay.
So we're gonna read the acts of faith if y'all don't mind. Cynthia, you got that? The little yellow piece of paper right there.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Spirit works on a full-time basis. Life requires that we spend part of our time doing certain things. We work, sometimes go to school at times. We are children or partners or friends
Parents.
or parents and friends part-time.
Mm-hmm.
The one area of life that cannot be addressed on a part-time basis is the spiritual life.
Wow.
To be a part of Christian,
For part-time.
be a part-time Christian, Buddhist, Muslim, or any else results in a house divided against itself,
Wow.
which cannot stand. The spiritual house is the mind and it requires constant care. Spiritual conviction is a manner, is the manner in which the house is run.
Mm-hmm.
When you have
Wow.
a spiritual conviction,
Mm-hmm.
it will serve you in all situations, all day, every day, in every way.
Yes, yes, yes.
The same spirit
Same spirit.
that guides your family life must also run your social life.
Right.
In you turns
Let me see that name.
in you turn to spirit for financial guidance. You must also ask for professional guidance.
Mm-hmm.
If you let spirit pick your friends, you must trust it to pick your mate.
Mm.
Part-time spirituality creates inner turmoil, turmoil, turmoil,
Turmoil.
turmoil.
Nice.
In
I like the break.
Indecision, confusion, and stagnation. I don't know.
That means stuck. You're not moving.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Once we let spirit take over full time, we will find life is more enjoyable and peaceful than we ever thought possible.
Mhm.
Praise God, that's right.
Mm-hmm.
I let go and let the spirit guide me every day in every way.
Mm-hmm.
Reflections. Consider the most unusual direction you have ever received from spirit. How did that guidance manifest in your life?
Wow. Good job. Give her a little dap right there. Anybody want to tackle that? That was a mouthful, but it's pretty powerful. And
See, my name is Chris Parker.
hey, Chris.
This life does require, for me, my life consisted of several parts, but I basically focused it on one,
Mm-hmm.
and it was either chaos,
Mhm.
drama,
Mhm.
That's good.
which led into early on in my teenage years to start using um, drugs, drinking, not really having no consequences because it was a permission giver that my mom basically said it was okay. So
Mhm.
my life was out of whack, I would say. And there were times where my senior year, I didn't go to school. I basically drove the car that I got from my mom, and thank God I still graduated from high school. But regardless, is that with everything that was going on
Mhm.
in my life, I chose to act out, and then it led me down a path that I had no business doing, but it gave me a lot of life lessons in life, and I learned a lot of uh, better things out of them.
Yeah. Wow.
So,
Yeah, that's good. Give Chris some love. Now, I'm gonna show you something that's interesting. Now, this is happening to Chris lately. Now, this reading, we read it right now. Say right now.
Right now.
But Chris's reflection is from yesterday. So when he heard this right now reading, it took him on a rocket ride to yesterday. This boy went all the way back to high school. That's a long way back. And what he was saying is, though, I just want to interpret because it was very powerful. What he's saying is, this is where I lost my connection. Right back in high school, this is where I had some unhealthy permissions. I got on the wrong track, right? And then stayed on that wrong track until we got him from prison, some years ago. Sometimes, hey, brother, sometimes when you can see something or hear something in it right now, and you'll have a deja vu. Say deja vu.
Deja vu.
Yeah, deja vu is a French terminology. It means already, deja, seen, vu, right? Chris had a deja. So in here, he's hearing this in today, which is help yourself, brother, but you got to take your hat off. He's hearing this in today. What's the day today?
May 11th.
May 11th of 2021, he went all the way back into the, 16 or 15 or 13 or 12 or 99, right? And that's a rocket ride back to the past. Sometimes somebody will just have you could have a smell, just a scent of something could trigger in your mind something from a long time ago. And all of a sudden you're standing right now in the right now place, but you're really going back to yesterday. And sometimes when you're doing it, you're trying, and in Chris's case, he's trying to clean up from the past and make peace with it. Somebody say make peace.
Make peace.
I'm gonna be honest with you. If you don't make peace with your past, your peace will have its way with you. Your past will have its way with you. I'm gonna say that again. Chester, come on, move up here. You got some meat. If you don't make peace with your past, the past will have its way with you, right? And so I love what Chris was saying. Now, Chris, I want you to make that announcement that you made a little earlier about.
So, last Saturday, I graduated from aftercare. And as of June 1st, I'm having specialized software come off my phone to utilize what I've learned because I'm fully off in August of paper and everything. So I'll be a free person, and having an agent that trusts the work that I put in and everything speaks volume that she trusts me to maintain
Right.
uh,
Right.
and show so much respect.
Mm.
And I'm always in communication with her, asking questions, doing doing a lot of positive things. So it shows.
So let me jump in. Chris forced that lady to treat him right. You know, sometimes people don't sometimes just treat you right because they, you know, wasn't jigger. But sometimes you have, through your attitude, you can force somebody who wasn't thinking nothing about you to start taking you seriously, right? And get that bug out of their behind and, you know, go on and do the job that's supposed to be done. And that's what's taking place right now in this relationship, you know. I'm pretty proud of Chris. Give him some love. Somebody else reflect on that reading.
I go. For me being in prison so much, I had to catch up with my spiritual life, and I did this time. Last time I was just running, being wild, you know, from the 80s, thinking, okay, I was somebody when I wasn't nobody.
Right.
And doing stuff that caused me more harm than the people who was trying to help.
That's
and
good.
I did a long time from not being able to realize that if I would have got my spiritual life to working on a full-time basis, I wouldn't have been stuck back in the 80s. But to move forward, this time when I was in prison, I found my spiritual part of me and been able to bring myself back and humble myself. Because I was never humble. I was always a busybody trying to do this, trying to do that, thinking that it was okay. But today, I realized, you know, and I had to find my spiritual part because of some stuff that happened to my daughter. She got hit by a car. And I had to wake up that I need to be out here instead of being in prison. You know, I went through a hard time when that happened. And I asked my higher power, you know, he saved her. I would start getting my life in order to do it like that. And he saved her because she was 7 and she wasn't responding to the nurses for 3 months, you know, and I'm sitting up in prison like, wow, what do? I couldn't lose my daughter, but I realized if I start praying in my higher power, opening up to allow him to filter out the evil that I was carrying around all the time. And when he separated me from the hatred that I had towards being in prison, I found myself being mad, but not at people because they didn't love me. I loved myself.
Right.
And then I didn't realize that till I got older that you can't be in prison all your life. I mean, you can if you keep doing what you've been doing.
Right.
You know, I come to realize that, hey, it's time to change, Calvin. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I'm 58 now, but it took me almost all this time to realize that I was doing wrong.
Right.
So when I gave up and just let go, I got a chance to open up and be humble. I got a chance to realize I can take feedback because I was like criticized people trying to tell me something.
That's
I
good.
never wanted to accept no feedback. And once I learned how to accept the feedback, I learned how to open up and allow people to come in my life. And now that, you know, I'm still with the pop group and I'm pop guy, it changed my life, man. It's the only thing I think that kept me out of prison. And it's crazy because I never even knew Pop. I probably seen him one time in my life in the streets or whatever, passing by. I think I came over there when he was working down there at the welfare office. And, you know, probably seen him working in there. And he was like, come on, man, let me give you some help. But I didn't know that one day in life I'd meet him again. This was like probably 85, 86 he was working down there. It was many years ago.
Right.
And now here I am, even past another time. And this time it's on a positive note.
It's on a positive note. Let me stop you right there. Give him a little dap down. But I like what he said about, I ain't gonna go on too long, about catching some spirituality. you know, some strength to get over whatever that was that kept them in the street. Each one of us have to get over it, you know, partly getting over our own self. You have to be ego filled to live a life in the street. You get it? Anyway, I could go on about that, but somebody else. Go ahead.
Yes, so I woke up today,
Mm-hmm.
2 a.m. With stomach pain. Using the restroom.
Yes.
You know, throwing up. So, I wasn't able to work today. Take a dog.
Go back in the back and see who's back in the back.
Yeah,
Go back in the back and see who's in the back. Come on.
You think it was something you ate or something?
man, I think it got something to do with you feeling stressed. You know what I'm saying?
Hey Shane,
Or
I'm coming in. I'm gonna take my little
being
chair.
around
Talk to
where I'm at,
Okay.
in that little environment, being stressed in the environment, overexertion as far as the work is concerned, not adhering to my diet, you know what I'm saying?
Right. I missed the first part of what you said. I'm gonna come back to it. When we got a call from the penitentiary, this is one of my lifers. I'm gonna take this call. Ross.
Hello, sir.
Hey, sir. How you doing, brother?
I'm doing good.
Give him a pop guy on 3, 1, 2, 3.
Pop guy.
Yeah, man. Give me the update. What's going on?
How about my brothers? How you guys doing?
Good. Have a seat, babe. Yeah, hey, give me the update now. You coming home soon, right?
Yep, 27 days in the wake up.
Hey, Ross, that's such good news, man. You made this group right there. That news right there put us all on another plane. Yeah. So now, are you going to VOA or where are you going first?
I'm going to Ashland House.
Okay, good. Ashland ain't too bad, and you can get once you do their little orientation and everything, then you can come our way.
Yep.
Yeah. Man, I'm so happy for you, man. And I know your mother, I'm so glad that she's able to see this day. Ross has been in prison now, how many years?
It'll be 29 years and 4 months.
29 years, man. Look, and wait a minute, and the boy is in his right mind. Come on, get some love. Yeah. And so look, did you take the vaccine?
Say that one more time.
Did you take the vaccine?
Absolutely.
Give him a hand. Good. All right. Well, look, man, this is what we're gonna do. As soon as you touch down, I'm gonna have Wayne to give you my cell phone number, or maybe you already have it. Do you have it?
I got 2 numbers. I got the 612-501-435.
Yeah, that's my cell phone. So as soon as you touch down, then hit me up, and we'll come around there and check on you.
Yep. Oh, just an update. Mark Alt will be out here on Friday. He's coming back outside the fence in here. So.
Right. He's been staying in contact with us, and it's finally.
Okay, I didn't know if you knew, so I just let you know.
No, that's good. Anybody else out there that we know?
Man. I don't even know who you know. You know a lot of people. So,
Right.
yeah, I don't know.
He's in Lino. He's coming to Lino Farm. Lino.
Woodrow?
Who?
Michael Scale.
Michael Scale?
Yeah, big.
Biggs? Yeah, Big. Yeah, Scales was in Lino, right?
Yep,
He's coming out?
he's already out here.
Oh, wow. Yeah, Mr. Big Stuff.
Right.
Hey, tell him we sent our high regards to him, man. Yeah, he's a pop guy.
Yep, I'll tell him.
All right, tell him.
I talk to him all the time. Yep, he just went over. He's on the Habitat for Humanity group. So.
Oh, wow. Oh, so he's out in the street, huh?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, they build them houses. They let them come out. Will was on
So
that.
he's up there because I was on it.
Yeah, you was up there. You stayed up there, but them guys have been coming in the neighborhood. Yeah. Hey, Ross. Well, and man, I know your mother has got to be so happy. I really enjoyed meeting her and your stepfather too.
Yep.
So we're gonna have something for you, man. We're gonna celebrate you over here. It ain't gonna be long, less than 30 days. We're gonna have you over here and we're gonna throw a big old funky thing, man. It's gonna be all right.
All right.
Yeah.
All right.
What's your favorite food? What do you like to eat?
It don't matter to me. I just want to be free.
All right, good. Give me some of that. Look, we're gonna go back to group. I'm gonna let you go for now.
Go back to group and you guys all pop it up.
All right, then. Thank you, brother.
man.
Pop down 3, 1, 2, 3.
Bye.
All right.
I'll tell you 27 days in a week.
Ah, love it. All right. Thank you, brother.
Later, brother.
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. So now you know
Ross.
Ross Landro. He's a native brother. Yeah. It was Jamaica's right hand man.
Yeah.
Yeah, him and Jamaica, and also David. What's David's name? David.
I know you're talking
Yeah. With it. Them three was the three amigos. Like David Islam. Yeah. That's Ross right there. This is Ross right here. You'll see him. Look. Okay. Yeah. Handed down. That's Ross right there. Was a real good brother. Real good brother. That was exciting news, man.
Yes.
That's exciting. You know what I mean? And so these things are possible. 29 years, boy. Amen. So anyway, last, you said you had woke up, you wasn't feeling your best. Just go back over there for a minute.
Yeah.
Did you see this? I want y'all to review this. Mhm. So tell me, what do you think it happened? No, what reason? What's going on with you?
I could be possibly working with some garbage
Mm-hmm.
and not washing my hands. You know what I'm saying? Not, you know what I'm saying? Diet or all I know is that I woke up.
You wear a mask,
So
so you got to wear a mask every time, because when you're working in sanitation, that's an important job, but you have to treat yourself more important than the sanitation. And when you're breathing it, and it's a good job, it's a good paying job. So you want to learn how to master that. You don't fall down, but figure out how to stand up over it. Yeah.
That's what I did when I went in today. I saw that and I was gonna try to do it, and then shoot, my leg was like, "Nah, he ain't doing nothing today." Damn.
Yeah.
So I went to the grocery store, got me some fruit, some vegetables, some nuts, cutting back from that meat. I'm just gonna go on my whole plant day, all that. So, I don't know what it was, but whatever it is, I'm gonna allow my body to indicate what it is.
Right. So no, Lazarus got a new job, and he left second chance. He left second chance and got a job as a sanitation worker, paying them a nice little salary. But you got to be protected. Your gloves, all of that. You can put a little something in touch your mouth, just like with COVID. You touching your eyes or any of that kind of thing. It's very easy for you to pick up something. So you got to go in there and be protective of yourself, right? And don't let that job get away from you, because you got a good ham sandwich right there. Because you off and getting off in 6 hours or 5 hours or something like that. That's beautiful. So don't go down to that level. Go up over it. Anyway, I want to review. Hey, bro, what's happening? I want to review this reading because we're getting a little heavier now. Lonnie, I want you to read it this time. Read it real loud.
Spirit works on a full-time basis, very lovely. Life requires that we spend part of our time doing certain things. We work sometimes, go to school at times. We are children or parents and friends part-time. The one area of life that cannot be addressed on a part-time basis is the spiritual life.
Mhm.
To be a part-time Christian, Buddhist, Muslim, or anything else results in a house divided against itself,
Mhm.
which cannot stand.
Yeah.
The spiritual house is the mind and it requires constant care. Spiritual conviction is the manner in which the house is run. When you have a spiritual conviction, it will serve you in all situations,
Mhm.
all day, every day, in every way. The same spirit that guides your family life must also run your social life. If you turn to spirit or financial guidance, you must also ask for personal guidance. If you let spirit pick your friends, you must trust it to pick your mate. Part-time spirituality creates inner turmoil, indecision, confusion, and stagnation.
Mhm.
Once we let spirit take over full time, we'll find life is more enjoyable and peaceful than we ever thought possible. I let go and let spirit guide me every day in every way. Reflection. Consider the most unusual direction you have ever received from spirit. How did that guidance manifest in your life?
Mhm. Yeah, that's good. Give Lonnie a little dap right there. Yeah, I wish y'all would have heard Chris. I'm just going to repeat. You know, Chris has completed his treatment, his aftercare part, and is moving on. It's a hard fight. It's a hard fight, man. And he's getting through it. He's almost at the finish line. So stay strong, Chris, until you reach your goals. Somebody else jump into this. I want to take a few more people, especially those who just walked in, to look at that reading and just reflect a bit on it. And then I want to take us a little deeper into what we talked about last week. I just want to lay another piece in that I think gives more volume to what we talked about last week. And so, yeah, go, please do. And now you come next.
It destructive fashion undermine it. The same spirit that guides your family life must also run your social life, right?
Mm-hmm.
You know, and for me, that's powerful because, you know, sometimes it's easy to be something professionally, but then try to be a different way in your personal life. You know, and I'm just saying me, you know, like, you know, you want to put a certain foot forward. Yeah, you got your professional face and your personal, you know, what you do at home, you wouldn't necessarily do at work. But I'm talking about, you know, having that transparency, that walk, right? So that really hit me because, you know, what's in the dark eventually comes to light. If you're out here going wrong, it's going to come out, right? So that just really hit home because it's real easy to be out here looking good but not doing well. And for me, I'm just learning that, you know, it takes both to succeed, like long term.
Wow.
So that's why it hit me. That's why I wanted to jump in because I didn't want to miss that, and that's just really powerful for me.
My wife calls that being a private success and a personal failure.
That's right.
Yeah, just think about that. Richard, I'm glad you shared that. Ananiah, you go.
At times in my life, I was in such dark places. Well, I actually just flat out cursed God and believe in care less about the whole thought, the whole spirit thing.
Yeah.
So I was just kind of just being born with the wind, being carried through the wind, to and fro. So I got in prison, and it wasn't because I was in prison that I got spirituality. I just happened to just kind of tiptoe into it while I was there.
Yeah.
Because pain.
You tiptoed in it?
Yeah, tiptoe. The pain setting.
Yeah.
You know, the pain setting. So it's like I just started reading and I started in the reading. I just started to notice like this is talking about my life.
Yes, sir.
These are all of the things that I was doing opposite, and this is why I was getting the results.
Yeah.
Had I been doing the things that is being expressed in this book, you know, and doing it this way,
Mm-hmm.
I could have gotten these blessings. So
Yeah.
I just decided to test it.
Mm-hmm.
So I decided to
Try it out.
Try it out.
Yes.
And the blessings.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I just finally just said, well, no, Lord, I believe you 100%.
Mm.
Whatever you need from me, I'll do it.
Wow.
Whatever you need from me, I'll do it. And I've been kind of walking in that.
Wow.
You know, and a lot of people don't.
So where were you? Where were you at then? Was that what institution were
I
you
was
in?
I was in Stillwater. I was in sales 7.
Mm.
30.
Yeah, that was your address.
That was my address.
And so-
734.
and-
And DE, AE.
Okay. And so see what can happen on cell 34. See what can,
Yeah.
you know, we pushed the pop guys inside to get free while you was there.
Yeah.
It was a foreign thought initially because everything around you appears oppressive in nature. But when you reshuffle the deck, you can start realizing that your freedom is always available to you, regardless of your conditions, if you reach for it. That's what you reach for on 34.
Yeah.
Yeah. Somebody said reach for it.
Reach for
Yeah. You know, where's Geronimo back there? Okay. Wow.
Can I say something?
Yeah, go ahead, Lonnie. Jump in.
I'm just going over it again, and it's hard to really, it's talking to me is the spiritual house is the mind, and it requires constant care.
Mm.
And when I think about that, right, I gave constant care to everything's up there.
Mm-hmm.
So hearing that, like for you, when I was in prison, I constantly cared for their spiritual, my spiritual stuff. So it was meditation, going to the living service, meditation, Christian, Islam, Buddhist, I was there, getting in tune with my spiritual stuff.
Yeah.
And because I ain't really, I really like separation, so I try to do it all.
Yeah,
so
wow.
I care for everybody. So,
Wow.
and understanding that.
Right.
When I start giving constant care to my spiritual self, I'm more happy.
Mm-hmm.
Things in my life start happening that I want to happen
Mm-hmm.
in a good way.
Yeah.
And just recently, I was talking yesterday about my 3 youngest children that I got separated from when I was in prison.
Right.
And what I realized is I ain't been giving the spiritual side of constant care.
Right.
So now I'm giving all this other stuff to constant care. Here comes stress, here comes depression, here come all these other things that I'm giving constant care to.
Yeah.
Feeling depressed,
Yeah.
I need money. I need this. I need that.
Yeah.
All I have to do is really give constant care to the spiritual side, and everything will come. So the Bible says,
That's right.
speak about Buddhism. Give him that attention to everything you do.
Yeah.
Spiritual side.
Right.
And everything else will be added to you anyway.
Right. Give him some love. Give him some love. Give him some love. And it, you know, that's good. I can say some stuff on that. Somebody else jump in. Patrick and then Dex.
Well, none back. None back. One of the things that, I could really relate to on here was the part about the part-time spirituality. Creates inner turmoil, indecision, confusion, stagnation. That's definitely my part. I thought I wrote that.
Right.
One of the things that, just dealing with some, speaking to what you were saying, Richard, about, in one way, you can act professional and be excelling, but in your personal life, you got all type of stuff going on, and it's one of those things to where I'm doing this for this reason. And, you know, all the time it ain't for you. And that's what I find myself doing. You know what I'm saying? I'm being nice. I'm going the extra mile. I'm doing this. But then if something is said to me, I'm flipping out in my head. I'm cussing you out. I'm calling you everything but a child of God. And so that's the part-time with me that I realize, and that's keeping me stagnated because my attitude, my thinking, fuels my thoughts that fuel my anger. Because if something gets said to me, listen, we got an issue. And half the time, I'm the one that's getting charged the rent for it because the other person ain't even thinking about what happened. And I'm like, man, I'm wasting my time. If I'm trying to be a better person, let stuff go. You know what I'm saying? Don't keep letting it fester on you. You know what I'm saying? Because even if I ain't said nothing to you, in some way, shape, form, or fashion, it's growing in me. I'm losing my blessing by constantly, you know what I'm saying, fighting over this and everything. And you know what I'm saying? So, you know, that part really stood out to me a lot about being part-time. I can't afford to be part-time. I get too many medical issues that I need to be blessed.
That's true.
So that's the bigger picture. And what I'm saying is I can't afford to keep being part-time.
Come on. Well, Patrick, you told the truth on yourself right there. And I love that you did, you know, that you felt comfortable enough to do it, because Pat got a lot of skills, but he don't use them for himself. He use them outside for other people. But then inside, he's still in some pain, right? And that low self-esteem, will play tricks on you and say, "Oh, that's not really for you. It ain't. You can't have that. You know how we roll, right? And this is a lie from hell, And we all been there, but you can't. We can't stay stuck there. Now, this is what he just got through saying. He said, "I don't know just how much time I have left." That's what I heard. Listen at this. And he said, "I can't waste it on yesterday's foolishness." Somebody say yesterday's foolishness. Now here's the key to it though. Your words. Your words, Patrick, will cause you to swim or to sink. And at the time when you don't want to come to group is the best place for you to be. At the time when you are stressed, your words have to come under your control. And then you utilize them to weave your way through that situation without giving over to the anger and the pain of low self-esteem and self-defeat. Say self-defeat. I'm teaching good right there. And then we'll mess around here and we'll miss the whole big picture thing, right? Pat, man, we love you. You are loved in this room. And what I loved about what you just did is you told the truth on yourself. And I'm gonna tell you, when you do that, that's growth. Go ahead.
Oh man. Everybody that knows me knows I've been in theater, custody, war with my son's mom. And, she's very special individual, very creative, to say the least, man. It's so much stress, man, but, it's weird because I asked and prayed nights in jail. I mean, nights by myself, just ready to break down. Like, God, please just bring me my son. Please bring me my son. I'm talking about in tears by myself. And so, but the path that I wanted my son was smooth
You know what I'm saying? Smooth path, no speed bumps. You know what I'm saying? Everybody like a big old sign, like, here, we over here, man. Come on, man.
Right.
It's gonna be just fine.
Sure.
But it's you know, I gotta realize God didn't say it would be easy. And sometimes in the midst of these things that I ask for, I can get so caught up in the process on how to get there, I forget, number one, that I even asked for it. But then number two, that it's being worked out. He's been in control this whole time. But sometimes these situations can seem real. Fear, false evidence of fear, real. And when that happens, you know, I wouldn't say but I can be like, oh my God, this seems so big. But you know, God is always bigger. And sometimes it just takes for me to just whisper to myself and say, God is in control. And then that's it. Then the poof. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And it makes things so much more easier to deal with. Because the devil is so tricky. And he's slick. He works
He said he's slick too. He said
he works 25 hours a day.
Wow.
Can I say one thing real quick?
Okay, but 1 second.
Just real quick.
Okay, go ahead.
When you were saying that, I just brought to my mind. When I studied the Bible says, he won't give you a burden you can't handle.
Exactly.
So any burden that I'm looking at in my life now, that anybody in the room looking at, there's no God been given to you before him.
That's good. See, you finding some peace there. That's good. That's a leap from yesterday, you know, so I love it. I just want to say, Tierra has shown some amazing patience with this situation he just put out there. Because the Commodore said, if you ain't taking care of business, this you must expect. You know, love is slippery. This thing is slippery. And you know, I just appreciate him. I think he's even teaching me something as he goes through this situation. So we're just trying to love on each other and get to the other side of it. We all have seen evidence that he loves his boy. You get it? Yeah. And you would think, in some ways, like he said, somebody would be saying, come and love my boy. Somebody come. Right. And somebody is here, but, you know, is being repelled in a high-powered way, you know. So I'm grateful to you for being who you are and showing the patience with people that depicts your own character. Patrick, go ahead. Give him some love, though.
You know, I definitely want to say, you know, how real God is, because he blesses us in each and every way. Sometimes when we don't see it, sometimes when we do see it, we just don't know. Man, you know, one thing I want to say that I'm really thankful for is my whole pop group. Mm-hmm. I can't, besides, you know, the brothers that I just met, I can't say something that a pop group or I haven't exchanged either in time, friendship, you know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Just trying to be there for each other's support. Well, Pop said, the reason I'm saying that about, you know, God being so real and blessing. Pop's, Dex had got offered a job offer. Mm-hmm. Pops, Dex took the job. Pops has said, well, okay, what you gonna do is, if Dex gonna, you know what I'm saying, do this, then you gonna slide right on this. Man, I ain't never been handed a job so easy in my life. Mm-hmm. I didn't even fill out an application. Wow. The guy just talked to me on the word of the Pop guy. Right. You know what I'm saying? He brought me in and blessed me in every way. I mean, I'm a felon. And so he still could have been like, well, we got to do a background check, blah, 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 blah. I ain't never got offered a job where I ain't never even had a background check.
Right,
So,
right.
you know what I'm saying? The thing that no, and I'm going to give you us too. And listen, man, it was another situation that I was blessed with. Tierre had asked me about a cleaning job that, you know what I'm saying, I already got experience with. And so that, you know, got hooked up for me. And it was like everything was happening at once. And I was like, okay, how do I balance this? Because I was like, I'm going to need both of these. I can work this out. You know what I'm saying? I ain't no spring chicken, but I can work this out. So anyway, I'm saying God has, you know, sometimes, and communication, just talking to that person, because the person that Tierre hooked me up with, there has been constant communication back and forth, and she's been, you know, like, okay, well, we can do this, and let's do this, and we can make this work. So she moved some of her stuff around in order to accommodate me, so I got to show up and show out.
Yeah, come on, come on.
But I just want to say, being a part of something that's so much of a blessing as its reward. You know what I'm saying?
That's
so
amazing.
I got to pay it forward and give back some way.
Well, that's amazing. Come on, man, give some love. Well, somebody say to double up. Boy, got 2 jobs now. You know, got to double up. Yeah. So I want to go to Esau. Esau, you hearing what we talking about, and then I want you to also remember what we talked about last week, and because you left something on the table last week, and I just want to remind you of it. So go ahead and
well, I'm gonna bundle it.
Go to, you gonna do the bundle? I give you a break on the bundle.
Because I was meditating, you know, 'cause I went to work.
Yeah.
So I got a lot of downtime. So I was thinking about it. The drive, the reserve, the conscious, and the ego, and the other elements that are part of it. And with the reading about the spirit being in line with the mind, the mind in line with the spirit, and then your soul is about your tribal self and your environmental self, like what my aura, my presence, the energy I give off, I know it's positive. And the people in my life are responding in positive ways. And I be kind, but put the people on notice about the negative behavior that they bring around with them. It was at one point, most of if not all my friends, don't bring no weed on my brother. Don't bring no alcohol on my brother. Don't get in this car with nothing in it. You know, every time. You know, because that's what I put out for so long. That I'm on a path. I'm driving.
Yes, sir.
To my goal.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
And if you pulling me back, then I gotta put you.
Yeah. That's good. I like it. I like it. Yeah.
And so I definitely was trying to absorb what we talked about last week. The layers. Because I've been stagnant in my mind for a while, not being really challenged with school. Zoom online school it is what it is, but it's not for certain people who have tangible learning ability. You know, the hearing, the repetition, the practice, the routine, all that missing, and I have to rebuild it myself. It's still not enough to spark those thoughts of ideas and questions and deep research. And so idle, pretty much my mind's been, until you brought that level out where I was challenging my thinking and on my emotions, and you know, what are my habits and what are my egos, what are my pitfalls. And you mentioned the SO thing. It's the thinking that I desire a woman and she desires me. Well, that's not necessarily true. It's probably wrong. Yes, she's attractive, she's beautiful, I desire her, but the reality is she can give care less about, you know.
That's right.
And so it's like, okay, if I'm thinking that she's attractive, where do I need to put that attractive? You know, in my own house, in my own relationship, in my own,
Right.
And
The boundaries. That's what
the
you're talking
boundary,
about.
yeah, the beauty is within her respect for me and my respect for her and our love together. That's what's so beautiful about our relationship.
Right.
You know, and we ebb and flow, we argue, fight, but at the end of the day, it's like, if we're gonna be happy, we're gonna be happy together. If
Right.
we're gonna be miserable, we're gonna be miserable.
Yeah, right.
But no matter what, we will be together.
Wow. Give him some love. Give him some love.
So that's when we have been
Get
talking on
to the
that.
spot. You know, so last week we talked about the 7 members of the community of self that sit on top of the 5 parts of the self that we taught about. And I loved the discussion last week. It was very powerful. And I didn't want to leave and go without putting another piece on that. And I just want you to listen at me for a few minutes. I'm trying not to take long. But one of the things that happens, Patrick kind of described it, is you can be publicly successful, but you're suffering privately. Say suffering. Suffering is a choice, right? And you have to realize that if you are suffering, it is because you have chosen to do so. Now, it doesn't negate that things happen in our lives, Chester, that cause us pain. And that you can have pain brought to you without any fault of your own. Now, what you do with the pain becomes your choice. And you can choose to get over it or choose to suffer. Let me give you an interpretation that you'll understand. COVID-19 hit. That blew up everything, right? I had a choice to make, a decision to make about what I was going to allow COVID-19 to do to me and to the people who I am charged with leadership over. What was I going to do? Just sit there and let COVID just, throw its dukes, throw punches? I just woke up one morning in the early time and said, no, whatever COVID is, it's an enemy. And whatever we need to do to stand up to the enemy and push him back, then that's what we're going to do. We're not going to lay around and hide and be, but we have to be safe. And so our response to that was not to suffer over COVID. The response was to stand up and look COVID right in its eye and then push back. And then push hard. Like, get on out this door, right? Yeah. And so to that end, just about everybody sitting here, there's a couple of you who are not vaccinated, but just about everybody else in here is vaccinated. The reason why that is because we kicked COVID in the behind up in here, right? And then now we're starting to help other people get there. So I'm reminding you that this Friday, we're going to have a pop-up clinic here. If you have somebody that's still not vaccinated, I'm just listening at a young lady last night talk about her story from Eden Prairie. She couldn't believe that COVID could happen to her. She in Eden Prairie, is beautiful out there. She was like, look, what's COVID got to do with me? Right? But last night she changed. She was saying, don't please get your, vaccine. See, the thing about it is you're fine when you're fine, but when and if it hits, it moves you fast. And we always thinking we got a little time.
Right.
I don't hear nobody in this church. But COVID had people suffering. And, and then if you wouldn't respond to it, you just stayed in suffering. I know a lot of people older who just don't come out no more, period. And they've chosen to suffer. Somebody say suffering. Suffering is a choice. Say that with me. Suffering is a choice. Right. But you don't, sometimes suffering is subtle. It slides up on you in a way. Oh, my goodness. I just felt Richard McLemore just come across me this so hard right there. Watch this, what I'm telling you now. This what I'm telling you is the truth. Pain is real. Nobody denying that. At the end of the day, though, suffering is a choice. Now look. Time, say time. Time sometimes gives you an opportunity to move from the pain. Some people move from the pain, but don't leave the suffering alone. And the rest of their life is consumed with the suffering. Say the suffering. Stop. Hey, brother, came up with a hot red tennis shoe. Come on in here. Oh, I think he left. So I want you to think about suffering. Say suffering. Suffering. Hey, son. How you doing? You good? I'm gonna go to the board real quick because suffering is so subtle, it'll slide up on you. Suffering will slide up on you, and you don't even realize that you're in suffering. I'm gonna go fast. Watch this. The question is, what are the 6 steps that lead to suffering? Read it with me. What are the 6 steps? I'll try it again. What are the 6 steps that lead to suffering? There are steps that will lead you into suffering, but they're so subtle you don't realize that you're taking the steps. It'd be just like a situation, right? Watch this. The first step in the 6 steps that lead to suffering is called overlooking the actual facts. Overlooking the actual facts. Say overlooking the actual facts. Overlooking the actual facts. Yeah, the number one way for you to slide into suffering, listen at me, is for you to overlook what's actually taking place right in front of you. Right. Woo. You can mess around, wait a minute, you can mess around and the thing can come right up into your face, right? And then you misinterpret it, Patrick. You start thinking that it was some personal stuff or, something for yesterday, and you're not interpreting the actual facts as they really are. Facts are important. You remember when the prosecutor was reading out all them charges? Right. I don't hear nobody in here. I'm thinking I'm in the wrong room. Now you had only did that one thing. Say one thing. One thing. But you had 7 charges. Say 7 charges. 7 charges. Yeah, and they call themselves presenting to you the actual facts. And you be sitting there thinking to yourself, man, I didn't do all of that. Now, everybody has one thing right, But you cannot overlook all the other things. Something just watch this. And this is really why we negotiate pleas, because they lay out all of these other things. There's only one actual fact, and then but they're gonna put you with all them actual facts, with all the other overwhelming circumstances, and then will cause you to take a deal, and not even try to take your thing to try. And everybody in here, I'm just watching this. Don't be mad at me. I said 99% of the people in here went straight to negotiated plea and didn't take no trial. Am I lying or telling the truth? Right. You gotta listen to it. Sometimes you're overlooking the actual facts, and sometimes the case is really beatable. We will overlook that. And we will overlook the fact that we can really beat this case and choose to. In this church, I wish you could tell me where you went and got it more plain than that. I wish you could tell me the place. Right. I'll wait for the preacher to come, but until he gets here, I'm gonna tell it to you.
You gonna be able to.
Watch this. Say number two. Number two is the second step that leads us into this subtle hormone. Say it louder than that.
Suffering.
Say, I will not.
I will not.
Suffer. To give it to you better than that. Say, I will not.
I will not.
Choose.
To suffer.
Yeah. Watch this. Number two is adopting. This is important. A negative perception. And I really want to get this word right. Perception. Say perception.
Perception.
Right. Perception is a very important term. Its prefix is pre, right? Yeah. Which means ahead. You know, so you've already thought of something through the and through your
Overlooking actual fact.
right, which will cause you to say adopt.
Adopt.
Yeah, but it happens so quietly. This is happening inside of you. Right. Nobody, you ain't even talked to nobody yet. You've already
Negative perception.
I'm going to digress for a minute and just talk about personal relationships. Right. Sometimes with personal relationships, you and your female or whoever you're in relationship with, right? Y'all will mess around here. One person has a adder mentality, and you might have a subtractor perception. And so y'all are trying to see things, Patrick, for what they really are. She sees things for what they could be, and you see things like they were yesterday. Right. Now I'm going to give you the mathematics of that. It's very simple. It's very simple. If you have an adder, and then with that adder, you add a subtractor, then it's nowhere for you to get but negative. Right. If you have an adder, and then you put an adder with it, there's nowhere for you to get but positive. Right. I don't hear nobody. Right. No, this is that simple, but it's mathematical. Right. Wait a minute, wait. Say math. Math. Okay, wait a minute. You said because she looking so good. She got you said all that. That's what she was looking at. This and that. But wait. But if she is negative. And you trying to be, your destination is negative. You will be overlooking your actual facts. Say louder than that. Overlooking actual facts. You'll be overlooking the actual facts. Right. Am I getting through here? Okay.
So the misdirection is being your focus off on her beauty, outside beauty, or attributes as opposed to the actual facts.
Yes.
Who she really is.
And so yes, and so what's this? And the idea is that if this is just about the sex, that's one thing.
Right. But not the whole relationship.
But this is how we were talking about sometimes my SO guys, when they make it about the sex, but as soon as they get the sex, all the bells go off. Right. And then it takes away your ability to perceive, and you begin to overlook the actual fact. The fact is that she is a subtractor. And you can't possibly win with that. Now you all may have played the game. This is what Earth, Wind, and Fire song Reason is about. So wait a minute. The reasons that we're here are because she looking good, you looking good. Y'all went out to the spot and everything, this and that. All of this happened and that happened, and y'all went on home. But after the thing was over, the reasons are all gone. Say reasons. Reasons. Y'all smiling in here.
Y'all disappeared.
I didn't understand that song.
No, you did. I get it. You know why? Because you were
overlooking actual facts.
See, she said, after the love game has been played,
Right.
and all of the illusions just slip away, right?
Okay.
And then all the reasons start to fade.
Right.
Well, Ananias get ready to hit this thing off.
Okay.
So you begin to reinforce the perception by obsessive thinking. Say obsessive thinking.
Obsessive thinking.
And this is what I'm building on from my discussion from last week. Because when you allow all the bells to ring, even though the math doesn't work and you know it, but you allow all the bells to ring, and then suddenly you start to reinforce the negative perception, you know, with all of this other stuff and try to make it something that you know it's not. This is what Tina said, well, what has love got to do with that? This was really just a sexual encounter. Say sexual encounter. Sexual encounter. But my sisters are here, you know, you waiting on Mr. Goodbye to come and be a good man. Right. Sometimes it's just Mr. Goodbye. It ain't the other thing. Right. And you can't mess around here and miss your perception. Say perception. Yeah. You start adopting a negative perception of all men, everybody. Ain't none of you people no good.
That's right.
And in doing that, she is I'm a good man. I'm gonna tell you that.
I'm learning to be a good man.
You keep learning. Watch this, but I want you to get your eyes big. That's right. I didn't start out like that. That's right. That's right. Right? Evolution. I saw myself as somebody different, right now. I hear you. I saw myself as somebody different. But as time went on, I began to examine the aspects.
Right.
Yeah. And I realized some things. I'm a fairly smart dude. Right. And I really don't need your money. I can get money by myself. Right. I'm just telling you the truth. Yeah, that's Raker's honesty. You know, I'm just telling you the truth. And so because money will obscure the math. That's right. That's right. Oh boy, I can go on all night right there. Number 4 is giving laws. Without looking for a way out. So getting lost. Getting lost. Say it again. Getting lost. Getting lost. In the way. I want you to, here's what we're talking about. Getting lost. Say getting lost. Getting lost. In the way. Try it again. Getting lost. Getting lost. In the way. Look, without looking. Yeah. Look, you got to be looking for a way out of this. Right? And there's always a way out. That's right. Any situation you are in automatically has to have a way. I didn't get there. Listen, it's impossible for any situation to exist without some way out of it. That's right. But if you're overlooking that fact, then you will adopt a negative perception. You will reinforce the perception by obsessive thinking. This is important. And this is what my son right here used to do. When he used to come home some years back, he would come home, he would get that woo-woo, and all of a sudden he'd be gone, and then he would start to obsess. He was in school before. This is what he was just saying a minute ago. You know, this Zoom stuff doesn't challenge me. That's what he was saying. Right. I need to be in class. Right. I mean, this one was in school before, but his would not allow him to keep from getting lost in the pain. Say it louder. Pain. Again. Pain. Pain is real.
but suffering is a choice. Am I making sense to anybody?
Yes, sir.
Number 5, say number 5.
Number 5.
Almost done. It's comparing yourself to others. I wish DeAndre was here. I had somebody call for him. You know, DeAndre lived in a little spot over here, over north. And there's some other people that live in that spot who got it worse than him. And you can't take their perspective on your situation and believe that you're dealing with reality. What you are actually doing is getting lost in the pain without looking for a way out. Say a way out.
Way out.
Oh, that's good. You're almost there. Say a way out.
A way out.
Watch this, what I'm going to tell you. Sometimes the way out is back through. And sometimes the way out is right back through the same way you came, just the opposite direction.
Right.
And then by the time you fight through all of them naysayers saying, oh, that nigga ain't going nowhere, he can have a drink, get a bump. Come on, man, what you talking about? This is all these fools trying to serve you that negative stuff, right? But if you can push back through them, Rhea, then you can find yourself on the other side. And then you can say, what is my name?
Come on now.
Yeah, my name ain't all of them other things, pretty so-and-so, slick, such and such, all them other kind of names. I done had some names, people had all these other kind of names they was calling you. That's not your name.
No, sir. No, sir.
Shut up, that ain't your name. But the question is, what is? Is that helping anybody?
Yes, sir.
Number 6, say number 6. Number 6. Number 6 is so important. Yourself.
We say it.
Relationships. Say cementing.
Cementing.
The suffering louder than that. The suffering really is the
pain.
And the pain becomes the
suffering
if you don't recognize the
actual facts.
And then you adopt a
negative perception.
I'm helping somebody tonight. Watch this, watch this. But then cementing, say cementing. I want you to see, understand what say. You've seen people lay that cement and then write it when they first lay it, you can put your hand in it or you can write your name in it, all of this other stuff that you want to do. But that's only for a short time. So because after a minute, that cement gets hard. And when you get lost in this suffering, you begin to cement the suffering, Patrick, through negative relationships. Watch this carefully.
Yes, sir.
Negative relationships can sometimes be taking low-hanging fruit as your sexual partner. Sometimes you don't just take the fruit that's right there, low-hanging, just anybody who's giving it up. Just, I'm with so-and-so, just anybody who pull the pants down. Come on, I'm with you. She don't want nothing but a drink and a bump, and she's taking everything off. That's where I'm at. I mean, see, this is where you got to look around and realize who you are. What is your name? Huh? Yeah, what is your name? Well, I remember Tylo Storm is here. I remember Tylo, he got it with somebody. Yeah. I think we called it Bootylicious. Bootylicious, she had a face, what you did. When she came down and then she would wear some of the G-string type thing that be straight up her behind, right? And look, Tyler was like, I'm getting ready to, what? Tyler said, I'm hitting it. I don't know what y'all talking about, but I'm hitting it. And let me just help you. I've been there too, but watch this. You got to remember, if bootylicious is really a subtractor, you can't expect to bring your positive mentality to a subtractor just because she got all that booty and think somehow you're going to end up where you're supposed to go. That's not going to get you where you got to go. The math doesn't line up. If the math doesn't line up, you're playing a losing hand. You don't have enough trumps to make no books in this game. You got to look out before you get caught up and not observing the facts. Bootylicious is a momentary deal, but you have to move on. Don't let her run off from you. Oh, I don't hear nobody. Oh, wait a minute. Wait a minute. I didn't mess around and touch the nerve here. Oh, wait a minute. Oh, wait a minute. I didn't touch the nerve there. The people said, let's turn the camera around on this. Something's got hot. Wait a minute. Look. So you can't let somebody say bootylicious. Don't be mad. Look, you can't let bootylicious turn around and leave you and hurt your feelings. She's chasing another guy, Mr. Goodbye. Say Mr. Goodbye. And bootylicious say bootylicious. Yeah, I mean, come on. She got you all broke up, you crying in your own, West Virginia. You thought bootylicious really loved you. I mean, if she walked down the street with her behind completely out, she doesn't love you or herself. And she's making an announcement. I hope I'm not making anybody uncomfortable here. But she's making an announcement to the world. My name is bootylicious.
I'm for everybody.
Yeah, right. She said, they said, well, bootylicious, who are you with? She said, everybody. Boy, you got a bump? You got a bump? You got a drink? Shoot. I'm pulling everything down. Watch this. And I'm almost done with you. This is love right here. This is all love. I can tell you. My Lord. I just got to go out on a limb here. Rich, hey, you lost his son. It hurt everybody. We supported this last week. But I tell you what I've been worried about with Rich is concerned. I love Rich. Because, see, when you have a traumatic loss and you're a couple, sometimes one partner takes this perspective. Hey, Will. Hey, would you give Will a big hand, please? Watch this. Glad to have you. Watch this stuff. Watch this. You gotta watch. You don't want to miss it. Sometimes when you're a couple and you have trauma, somebody in the relationship takes the somebody in the relationship takes and whenever you have these mathematical variables, no matter how good your intentions are, you're gonna have to go this way. I want you to just think about what I'm saying. And Richard is such an unusual brother, and he's taught me that about himself over the years in a beautiful way. He's an accomplished man. So my ache for him and my pain for him in his relationship was that somehow they could both find a way to not blame the other one for the issue. Right. Richard, even when he was knocked up, he walked his own way. He didn't follow nobody in particular. He had a mind of his own. I always loved that about him. Let me tell you something. When trauma comes, that mentality can turn on you if you don't open up and allow the people that love you to continue to feed you and to continue to nurture you and to continue to bring you around
the positive side of it. Look at, you will overlook the
Actual facts.
You will mess around here and find yourself into
Suffering.
as a choice. The issue was the issue. It's painful. But suffering after a time is a personal decision. If I had my prayers way, my prayer would be over him and over Cece, that they would continue to support each other in this way.
Yeah.
And even when somebody was slipping a little bit, the other one would not meet her or him at their worst place. Because none of us really are who we can be in our absolute worst.
Right.
Not one of y'all here. You know, and people say, you know, Brother Shane and Dr. Burke, they love the pop guys. You know what? It's true. I don't really see you, you know, like, no different than I see myself. There's somebody trying to get out of some stuff we was into, and we was all into it. Is that right or wrong?
That's right.
Pain. It really was pain. And pain can be tricky, man. You can make it look good. We call it the streets. Calendar, look, we call it the streets, man. Oh, yeah, Slick ain't got no regrets.
Right.
Slick ain't got no sorrows.
Slick ain't caring about nobody.
But look, Slick is serving up pain. The streets don't never let nobody win.
That's crazy.
If you want to hear somebody talk, put the microphone to the street and see if you can hear what the street is saying. I got so-and-so, I got so-and-so, I got so-and-so. And you know what? If you go to sleep, Negro, I'm going to get you too.
That's right.
Jack, get back.
Dex is in this situation that something like I just described. Dex has lost a daughter, you know, a loved one first, the son, and now a daughter. That is painful. That's painful. But you can't stay there. We all visit. Everybody's here. We've had a taste. Say a taste.
A taste.
But you can't stay there. Huh? If you stay too long, it's because you are choosing it. And as the captain of your ship, you have to choose to steer that thing on in, Dex. Is anybody getting anything tonight? Put your hands in. That's what I mean. It's so quiet in this church right now tonight. You can make some more noise than that. I mean, come on here. Open it up. I can go further, but I'm gonna stop right there. Go ahead. And anybody, Richard or Dexter, wants something? Go ahead. Go.
All right, as you was reading this and you talking about suffering, right? So I was kind of just concentrating on that part-time spirituality, create inner turmoil, indecision, confusion, stagnation.
Mm-hmm.
But the word that stood out to me was indecision.
Yeah.
Because I was talking to a gentleman once, and he was talking about making it, being able to decide what's in my best interest. So when he was talking about to be able to decide what's in my best interest, he was telling me the root word of decide.
Mm-hmm.
C-I-D. Mm-hmm. So if you take that word, it means to kill off. Homicide, matricide, all these different suicide. Mm-hmm. So he's saying when you decide, you're killing off one thing for the other. So as I, because I still struggle with indecision, and I be saying, especially my procrastination, I be saying, okay, well, I'll do it today, I'll do it tomorrow, I'll do it, but I never decide. And because I cannot kill off certain things, now I walk around with a lot of regret. I wish I had her. If I could have, should have, would have. Things like that. So, as I just wanted to share that because indecision or our ability to make a decision or decide what's in our best interest keeps me
Right.
in suffering.
Can you take some tough love?
Absolutely.
Watch this. Now this is just for my brother.
Don't make it hurt though. Maybe at least hold my hand up.
No pain, no pain.
No pain.
Something you want if you don't make it hurt. Last week's lesson.
Yeah, don't hurt. Don't hurt.
This last week's lesson was so powerful. We talked about the community of self. And one of the members of the community is the ego. And here, all these years I've known you, this is what I believe that you struggle with the most. Of all the things you think are the issue, this, for me, where you're concerned, is the issue. Because you always believe that it's all, you can always get out of what you got yourself into. You're gonna always get another chance because you're you. And you always believe that I'm gonna mess around, I'm gonna get my another chance, I'm gonna get this, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do that. You know, and all that does is pump you up temporarily, but leaves you lacking for accomplishment. And so here's in some cases, you don't really realize this, and this is a message for everybody. When you can get off of your own ship and allow somebody else to help you drive it, you realize you get built up more that way than you could ever build yourself up through ego and through oppressiveness, because your ego becomes oppressive to other people. And in that oppressiveness, you drive them away from you instead of then bringing them to you, because you got a loving heart. I'm just telling you the truth. You got a loving heart and you're a good man, but you won't conquer this ego right here totally and put it under your feet. Everybody got it. We all got it. And as Sharon said last week, it's not that ego is bad. It's that when ego becomes the driver of the car, it will drive the car completely off the cliff. I don't hear nobody in here. Give him some love right there. You know, I'm just in the mood. I'm sorry. But now, you know, with him and his marriage, you know, they started out so beautifully and it looked like the right stuff. But look, with that marriage, if you playing math, this is how marriage is. If your wife is a subtractor and you're an adder, the marriage is not going anywhere. It can't. The math will not allow it to succeed. In order for a marriage to succeed or a relationship to succeed, both people have to have positive traits and be willing to get over their own ego well enough to feed the other one the positive. Right. Ooh, I'm talking good. Yes. And if you can't feed your woman positive stuff, if you are oppressive, if you are controlling, if you are big-headed about the way that you carry on, then you oppress your own person, your queen. You oppress her, and you become worse than the people who you thought was the oppressor really were, because they can't be seen, but your foot is in her butt right now. Praise. I ain't hear nobody in here. Yeah. Amen. Yeah, it's too quiet in here. Yeah. You know, but I tell you what though. That's the word. The reason that's the word. That's the word. And the reason why I can tell it to you is because I did it. And you did so many times. And you continue to do it. And so some people that were just loving me and just saying, Shane, you know, just loving me. I'm not mad. I couldn't hear nothing they were saying because I was too full of ego to even hear correctly. But you know what? Now back to the reading. But the Lord, he broke me down and humbled me and took everything I thought that I valued. He took all of that stuff away from me. So you ain't got none of that now. All that stuff you thought you had that was gleaming and all of this. I was a Cadillac driving, you know, what's all of this, all that diamonds, all that stuff, you know, la-di-da. I mean, I still have some of those things, but it's the way I went about it then was something different. The way I went about it, I made people believe that was who I was because I was afraid to come out and be my own self.
Say that.
Oh, wait a minute. But when he got me down on my knees, I don't hear nobody.
Yeah.
But when he got me down on my knees
Let go.
and whispered in my ear, look, and crack, cocaine, heroin, alcohol, all that stuff went out of my body in an instant.
Thank you, Lord.
And I didn't have no urges. I have no desires. I was just in an instant. I know it's hard to even believe that, but I've been with you long enough now that I can tell you my truth and have you at least play games with the fact that it could be true. In one day, say one day.
One day.
Put all of that under my feet. In one day, say one day.
One day.
Yeah, I had a little Mexican guy in North Commerce Park. He prayed for me. He said, I don't want nobody to join church or nothing, but do you just want to be free and delivered from alcohol, drugs, cocaine, and crack? I said, who is this fool? Talking like this. I put my hand up. And everybody else stepped back. Just me.
Yeah.
And this guy prayed for me. I never got his name. This guy prayed for me. I didn't hear nothing. I didn't see nothing, none of that stuff on TV. When I woke up the next day, something was different. And let me tell you what I heard. I heard the birds singing. The birds were singing out my window over on Cecil Number, singing so loud. Tweety, tweety, tweet, tweet, tweet. Tweety, tweety, tweet, tweet, tweet. Birds. And I'm trying to find them. They so loud. I'm saying, how do you birds get a voice like this? I never heard of it before. Right. A voice came to me and said, did the birds just start singing? Or did you just start listening? And I knew at that moment, I had been living my life in such a way, I was oblivious to the birds or dogs or squirrels or pets or anything like that. I didn't even get up till 6 or 7 o'clock in the evening, like a vampire. I'm talking about myself, but I'm just really telling you about yourself. And what I'm trying to help you to do, and that was ego.
I stay up 24 hours.
That was just ego, man. And I didn't even realize that I was it slid up on me. I didn't know that I was Here's the facts. Even though all of that, what I'm telling you was true, here I am today. Now, look at this. Had I started 10 years ahead of this, or 15 years ahead of this, and I sometimes think this, sometimes it comes across my mind. Look what you could have did with them 10 or with them 15, with them 20 years that you jacked off. And this is the conversation that you have to have with yourself, because your time is running. You ain't no chicken like you used to be. Things ain't like they was. Time is moving on now. You can't cop and blow like you used to. You got to mess around here and cop like and blow. It's true though. It's true though. No, you just blow it. Kel, stop. I'm gonna send that boy back to Mississippi if you keep that up. Look, I'm gonna stop. I went on too long. I didn't mean to go on this long, but I'm only trying to up here get you to see how this can be damning. You can have a great public persona, but then you are a failure behind closed doors. The thing you love the most, you drive it away from you because you can't get over your own self. We had a song we used to use in my class back in Fairfield. It was Michael Jackson's song. He said, you can't win, you can't break even, but you just can't get out of the game. Look, at some point, at some point, at some point you got to get out of the game.
That's right.
Let that thing pass you by.
Thank you, Jesus. I'm out of it.
Realize it's food. It was fool's gold anyway.
Yes.
Thank you.
Tierra was here. He would call him sucker ducking.
Yeah.
He got a book now. Tierra got a book. And bring your book in here, boy. He got a book. He done got it published now. And the book is called Sucker Ducking. The art of sucker ducking.
Right.
So make sure you get a copy of that book. All right, give yourself a hand right here. All right, did you get anything?
Yes, indeed.
Anybody who wants to go. Go ahead.
One of the things that I see there, right there, that looks like my profile, just add codependency to it. And you know what I'm saying, I got an actual snapshot of me. And you know, man, when you can get it explained to you, I'm gonna say this, when it gets dumbed down for you and you're able to understand it in the terms that you can relate to, man. I done just, you know, realized a couple of things and I'm like, you know what I'm saying? This is what I'm saying.
You fast in so many ways.
You know what I'm saying? And so, you know, man, that's my profile.
Come on, brother.
You know, this is I done, man, Chase, so I don't know how to love myself. So therefore, sometimes me and my wife struggle with some things. You know what I'm saying? And it's because at that moment and at that time, I'm really choosing to look at myself because she's a very good woman. She's a very good person.
Right.
Sometimes the roles can get reversed sometimes, you know, depending on, you know, how your relationship has been going. But I think the bigger picture is just remembering the woman that's going to take from me, you know what I'm saying, what I'm displaying in my thinking, my attitude, and my behavior in our marriage. So at all times, I should be willing to change. Drop this profile and drop it, you know what I'm saying, start a brand new one.
Right.
I ain't never had.
That's good. That's good. That's good. Yeah, go ahead. That was excellent.
That was it. One thing I admire about a lot of people in this room, Patrick yourself and some other brothers in this room, is just the honesty part of it. You know, just the rigorous honesty. There's no, you know, there's no sugar in it.
Yeah.
Richard, you know, you just give it to us. Patrick, you just give us clearly. There's no sugar in that, right? You just give it to us raw, the way it is, right? And that's courageous. And here's the thing I want to say to this group in here about Pop. Pop always had a good heart. He always had a good heart. He always looked after people. Even though his ego was inflated and he was misguided and never looked at the actual facts like he just pointed out, it was always in him. That is the reason why he's in here today.
Right.
People fail to understand, right? When it's your time, it's your time.
Yes, sir.
And it was his time. I was with him.
Yeah.
I was with him since we were little kids.
Right.
I watched it. I came to his house, didn't I?
Yeah.
We're taking a whole lot of things.
Right.
Every car he got, he came and got me. Every time he got a new car, he came and got me. Now come on over here. And we rode. We went to St. Paul. We did everything.
Yeah.
God preserved him and chose him for a reason.
This here right here.
Just sit right here. And when people look in here and they say the certain things they say, is he playing the game? Is he not serious? People, God chose that. God gave him to them. You know, the things that he has are the things he's meant to get. He always know what good things were. He always dressed good. They came from his daddy. He's got a legacy of this stuff. It's not like this stuff fell out the sky on him.
Right.
But God in his wisdom said, I'm going to take somebody that's been in your shoes, that walked in your shoes, actually been in your shoes, and I'm going to let you see him. Right? God is not a respecter of person or man. He'll take the lowest and the smallest and elevate him, and people don't understand why.
That's right.
You know, and that's what Pop don't tell you all the time. But it's everybody in this room, we're doing it too.
Yeah, that's right.
If you follow what you're meant to do, I guarantee you, and I'll bet you, I'll wager you, I'll pay you, you will be where you're supposed to be at the right time, and you receive what you're supposed to receive.
Brother, that's it.
Man, that was good. That was real good.
I do believe that what you were just saying.
Yeah,
You know,
for everybody.
for every experience, there is opportunity for a purpose. So when we experience certain things, it do open. I mean, depending if we adopt or don't adopt the negative perception of the experience.
No, he's chosen.
No, I understand.
He's chosen.
I understand what you're saying. I understand what
Like
you're
you're
saying.
chosen for something.
I understand what
you're
you're saying.
chosen too.
I understand what you're saying. But I'm saying, see, for myself, a lot of times, versus me, when he said overlooking the actual fact.
Right.
I would overlook the actual fact for the simple fact that I was gonna see this the way I wanted to see it. So it's gonna appear.
That's the ego.
Right. So,
but God will break you down too. He'll break you down like he broke everybody else down, and he'll make you come to the point where you're gonna have to acknowledge who he is and what he got you here for. And it's just a matter of time. And the brokenness, in the time of reckoning, it's different for everybody in this room. And it's a different way. But your time will come. And he might be doing it now, you just can't see it.
That's good. Hold up, but that's good. But I want to let you to finish out.
So as I was saying, because it's been many times. I mean, because I believe I'm here today because of my experience. See, it was my experiences that led me into this room, right? It was my experience to reach out to guys. It was my experience that allowed me to meet Lonnie, to allow me to meet all of you guys, man. And so in that experience, whether you say whether it's fully developed or not, it was that experience, right? And I'm gonna tell you, when I met Lonnie for the first time, when I met and a guy, forgive me, Darius for the first time, I said, man, look at these brothers. They independent, they were free, right? But when but they was though, and I mean they was intelligent, they was taking their time to teach, they was sharing their experience. And that's what I loved about them. I never said that to y'all, but I'm saying it now. But that's what I loved about y'all. Y'all was sharing your experience, right? So when you seen a brother struggling, you reached out to that brother. Right? I said, man, that's some cool stuff. I did. I said that about them all the time. I always said that about these guys, you know. Now you're hearing it for the first time.
Right.
But I always said that about them. And so I said, man, their experience, and I was looking at the way you was accepting your experience. Because you know what the truth is, when I was in the prison the last time, I literally asked God to take away drugs and alcohol from me. But guess what? He never did. But he put me into a place where until I was able to deal with it. So just like you said, Pop, when that time came, I ain't never had a craving for drugs and alcohol in 5-6 years.
Right.
Never had a craving, not a desire, nothing. So when I asked him to take it, he didn't take it. But and I asked him to move the mountain. He didn't move the mountain, but he gave me strength to climb it.
Right.
So even to this day, I do share that experience with other brothers. And I know it's something in there.
Yeah.
But I'm still in my way to a lot.
Give my hand right there. You got something? Okay. Somebody else.
Yeah.
Up here. Okay, go. And then yourself.
So we're talking about ego and getting in your own way. And, you know, I used to run on ego, you know, because I just if somebody had something, I wanted that, but I wanted a better version of it. You know what I'm saying? But right now, my life is totally changed. You know, the spirituality part of it is powerful. I look and I say, how am I? You know, I'm just getting blessed and blessed and blessed. You know, and I have this drive in me now that I never had to do better and be better and not sit down. Just like I had this operation, it ain't been a month and I'm walking because I have that I just believe God and God helped me to walk. And you know, it ain't me. You know what I'm saying? I've been bound so long that I just want everything to, you know, be correct in my life. And so I got this drive and this, everybody's like, slow down. No, I'm not slowing down because this is a pace that me and God is going through. And people, they kind of laugh at me about me anointing my door with oil but this is the truth. There is people that came to my house and didn't know why they had to talk to me at the door and they couldn't come over the threshold. Because it was a place that devil, was scared to come in. You know what I'm saying? And I just,
keep on anointing that door. Keep that all going. And now, go ahead.
I actually believe that my being here, I'm supposed to be here. I think that everything that happened in my life is supposed to happen because it's supposed to shape and mold me into who I was supposed to be. Now, I foolishly made a lot of choices in my lifetime, thinking, living off of ego, doing my own thing. But I mean, had I not done all of those things, had I not committed the crimes, told the lies, manipulated, had I not done it, I wouldn't be sitting here. I would not know the things that I know today. So I think that the Lord has a plan for each and every last one of us, and He put us all here. So let us not ignore that fact.
Wow.
Another thing, he stepped out of the room, I wanted to say to him, when he asked God to forgive, to move that lick and stuff, God did that.
Right.
He just didn't see it because you probably tried to view it the way you wanted to view it. God did exactly what you asked him to do. You said it yourself.
And this is the will.
Yeah.
And the 7 parts of the
Seven parts,
community. So when He give you, empower your will to rule over those things. And
Exactly.
if you surrender your will, you surrender the gift.
Absolutely.
No, I'm sorry.
No, that's all right. And just the last thing, this really speaks. I'm gonna go home and I'm gonna talk to someone about this. My girl's son, he left home young. He left home, he was like 17. He met his girl. They had a kid together. He's like 22 now. But he said something interesting to me today. Sitting at the table, he was like, when I was over there, it was like I didn't like to hang out with her friends and her family because it was like their interest wasn't mine. It wasn't the same, nothing like that. And when he said that to me, what I got out of that was, you was over there, you got over there at a time when you didn't even know who you were. And they are different people. They're different people. They have different culture, different ideas, different interests and everything. And you're just in the middle of all of that. All right? So you sat there and you probably swallowed your tongue a whole lot. You were probably feeling very, very isolated, very, you didn't feel like you belonged there and everything, right? Now you're back home and you're kind of like realizing that, right? So I'm going to start to bring him with me to the group.
Yeah, good.
But I'm going to get him vaccinated. So I'm going to try to get them on. I'm going to try to get them on.
That gives me
I got Kevin and his brother now.
Good. So I want anybody the 14th is our pop-up clinic right here, starting at 9 o'clock. If you want to get vaccinated, get with Wayne. Right. Cynthia's on the list now. Give her a hand. Give her a hand.
Since I'm on the list, I have a goal, and I have until Monday the 17th. And so I'm just want to ask, if I get the first shot, I do not have the liberty right now because I'm a manifester, and Linnell will be here either Christmas or my birthday or next year, my 63rd. And so I'm a manifester, and I'm manifesting my son home. But if I take that shot on the 14th, it isn't going to incapacitate me because I got some letters and some stuff I got to do. And otherwise, I will postpone it until after so that I can make sure that I'm not laying in my bed because I got things to get to St. Paul on next Monday.
Yes,
and I don't want nothing to deter that. So that first shot, anybody, it's gonna be fine.
Yeah, you're gonna be good. I tell you what. The second one.
I'll be ready for the second one.
Yeah,
After the 17th, I'm out in the hood.
The
I'll
only thing
take me a break.
you have to look forward to is sight soreness. Just like you might even bump your knee or something after you get sore.
Oh, I'll be
Just
sitting
gonna
at
be a
the
little sight
laptop.
soreness.
Okay, long as I ain't gonna be having to lay down, stomach, and none of that kind of stuff.
Appreciate what you're doing and trying to liberate her son. It's an awesome
And what
thing.
we're hoping, I didn't mean to jump in, but what we're hoping through what we're learning, the learning curve that me and Michelle are learning through this is that hopefully we can take this information that we've been gathering and help other families who are also working on that and give them
Right.
that information because it was a learning curve. What
Right.
you should do, what you shouldn't do, how much information do you give to people, how much do you get back?
Right.
And and it's very hard for people to write letters about the people they love and care about, believe it or not. That's what most people have been struggling with. It's not writing the letter. Well, it is writing the letter, but it's putting the components in the letter.
Right.
So that's what we hope to do with that. But thank you all for your input as it relates to this show.
Chester here is a guest. This is his first time. So,
All right, Chester.
yeah. So give him a little love. So Chester, what you got? I got nothing right now. Did you get anything about what we said? Well, we're glad to have him. Give him a little hand. I'm gonna call on a couple more people, then we're gonna get out of here. One second. Leo, what you got? And then, Eli, what you got? And then Tim, what you got?
Well, I was thinking, there's a lot of times like you had pain,
almost done.
and you get stuck in pain. Yesterday I had neck pain. But the thing is that I found a brace, but then that made me think, I got that brace a year ago when I had open heart surgery. And I got that because I told them about my pain. I shared that I had neck problems, so they gave me a neck brace. And so the neck brace actually helped me get through the pain, but I wouldn't have shared my pain with others if I wouldn't have looked for a way out. I would not be here today because that neck brace helped alleviate the problem. And last year I had emergency stuff.
Right.
I went to emergency with a neck pain. And so therefore I was looking back and I was thinking, God is good because he put people and he put situations and that helped me to learn how to deal with the pain, because we're going to have pain no matter what.
Yeah.
We all have different pains. You had pain, everyone's going to have pain.
Right.
But it's how you deal with the pain. And then also the big part was the negative. And I was thinking about the negative. I was actually the negative in my, you're always talking about the woman being the negative. Well, my wife, she was the positive. I was the negative, and I was bringing it down.
True. Come on now.
And so that didn't work. And obviously it broke down. And I feel bad about it, but my mom told me I grew up when I was 53. So therefore I was a slow learner.
Yeah, well, your mom gave you the love, though. That's good, Tim. And Tim was talking about the last year. We was talking about when he got the neck brace. That was open heart surgery. He recovered from that and knee surgery and recovered from that. So he been at it. Go ahead, Will. And then Eli closed us up.
I came in, kind of late, but just from experience. I've had some, just like everybody here, I've had some difficult experiences throughout the year, and I just went from not focusing on, what the Creator was allowing that happen to me, but what He was doing for me. You know what I'm saying? And like case in point, I was in situations where I wasn't no, I wasn't, that people were subjecting me to their own agenda and it was negative and you know, it had negative consequences on me. You know what I'm saying? And so, what that forced me to do though was to be even wiser in terms of how I go about interacting with people. Now, what I didn't realize at the time.
That's good. That's a good point.
Now, what I didn't realize at the time was that what that was doing for me, that it was removing any potential issue or barrier to my release that, you know, ultimately happened. You know what I'm saying? So I just, you know, I was just thinking about that, man. You know, just listening to Angelo talk, you know what I'm saying, about, you know, how God didn't remove that for him. It was things that, you know, like you looking at it like you're looking at it, he didn't remove it for me too. But I think that had he did it in a way that we would have liked him to, we wouldn't be as strong as we are now. After overcoming it ourselves and understanding that now we are self-approved. Now we don't just believe it, we know it.
Wow, that was good. Well said. Well said. Give him some love, Dad. Go ahead, son.
In terms of the 6 steps to suffering, I thought that it was particularly powerful, pointing out the suffering aspect. Even number 6 hit me the hardest in terms of cementing the suffering and the fact that suffering is a choice. That, you know, we can't do anything about the pain. Pain is going to come. Traumas are going to come. We don't call for them. We don't ask for them. They just come, and they're at our doorstep. And then the question is, what am I going to do about the pain that presents itself to me, and presents itself inside of my life? You know, and just walking through it. You know, I was having all kind of flashes, the interpersonal relationships, former marriages, organizations, you know, all kind of different as we was going through each point, you know, flashes of experiences was just like materializing, you know, through the measure that you were dropping on us. And, you know, but it was when you got to point 6 in terms of suffering, cementing itself, I really thought about, you know, how compact that could really be with the choice that we're making to live within the pain and live within the sorrow and the regret, and how difficult it sometimes could be to extract ourselves out of a situation like that that's ever getting tighter until we feel as though we don't have a choice. But we always have a choice because we got in it so we can get out of it. Unless and until the creator makes the call that, you know, someone else is going to have to punch in time to accomplish that will, and we're going to be taken out, or I'm going to be taken out. And so that point 6 just really hit me. It hit me particularly hard because of the 6. You know, it's it's the most serious. You know, it's sink or swim. Basically, it's, you know, it's cementing. You didn't say cemented, but it's cementing. But once it cements, it's over with. And so, yeah, it's locked. It's a wrap. You know, but it's not. It's cementing. You put an ing there. And so, you know, it just hit me. It really hit me. And I was like, yeah, you know, that the notion that because I've allowed myself to suffer within relationships. Will knows, Pops knows, Richard knows, whether those are professional or whether the professional ones, we've seen some of those even in the penitentiary. Things that, you know, should just be cut, and personal things that should just be cut, but allowing myself to stay longer or to fight harder or to, you know, trying to control more or to do this or do that, when in actuality it's cementing a situation that was actually devastating and that I should just extract myself from. So that was the one that really hit me the hardest. But then one final point, Pastor, I know we got it. But in terms of the pain and the suffering, I also thought about, the pain of not, being able to make it to group on time. And the longer those little pains was happening, it was turning into suffering. And so I said, I'm going to prioritize. So glad I did. I just got fed, watered, nurtured.
Right.
But it weighs on me not being, here, with my brothers. And so, yeah, I could see that pain turning into suffering. So I said, okay, no matter what, I'm gonna be here Tuesday.
That's what you did.
Made that choice.
Yeah.
Give it a little something. Hope y'all got something tonight. We got to get out of here. Tyler, did you get something? What'd you get?
That's right.
Oh, wait a minute. Here go Tyler. I didn't get Tyler. You're right. Hold it. Wait a minute. Tyler he got to go. Tyler, what you got?
I'm glad you said nothing is the actual back.
Somebody say, "Booty, listen." You're like, you make it. I will balance my family values. My goals. I will exercise wisdom. When I choose to eat. Read and do. No game. I will. Our relationships. No deal. That by playing no game. I will. Under every circumstance. Maintain a positive attitude. No game. I will. Enjoy my life. With a sense of humor. While taking advantage of my opportunities.
Fortunes.
Playing. Them games. Yes, sir. I will. On a daily basis. My goal. I don't have any goals. Be procrastinating. Playing games. I will. Always protect my wisdom. My health. And my happiness. No game. I will. Stay principle centered. And maintain a positive circle of influence. Positive circle of influence. Where they're playing. No game. I will. Act according to the POP Leadership Institute. And be productive in my community. And productive in my private life. Because I'm playing. No game. All right, help somebody clean up in here. All right, bro.